Okay, hello folks, welcome back for a very long awaited update on the Reefer 750 XXL. It's been a while actually, it's probably been 2-3 months since my last upload, so I shall fill you in exactly what's been going on because there's been loads going on. I'll try and squeeze it into what half hour spare. Basically, we hit a massive, another brick wall, another hurdle with the Reefer. Everyone that's been following my videos will know that from the start on this system we've been battling with crypto carrion, white spot. We had to hit the system hard twice with copper, and both times worked, but it reared its head again 6 weeks ago really badly. We had a massive explosion. Don't know what triggered it. It just, all of the fish had it really bad. Just erupted over a couple of days. Didn't change anything, didn't add any new stock. I think it, I don't know, but it might have coincided with, we had some really hot weather and we had, the temperature spiked up a little bit, a couple of degrees more than what I've got it set at. Maybe that sparked it, but the issue being that the copper treatments that I have done in the past hadn't killed all of it, and it was just sort of sitting in the wings ready to erupt again, looking for its opportunity. And I think that may have been it. That was its trigger, the temperature on the tank going up a couple of degrees. So anyway, it was really bad, and the reason I haven't done an update is because I hate filming the tank. I'm not in the right mood to do an update on the tank when it's in a bad way. Basically, all of the fish had it really bad, to a point where if anyone's had an experience with crypto white spot, it is all inside their eyes and the fins are covered, heavy breathing, all of them. To a point where I thought, shit, unless I do something drastic here, I'm going to lose the lot. So we've done copper. We're lucky enough it's not a coral system. Not yet anyway, I'll speak about that later. It's not a coral system yet. But yeah, I had the luxury of using copper and thought that would work. Used cupramine. But yeah, it erupted again. I thought I've got to do something this time that's going to kick it out of bed for good. And the only thing I could think of doing it is to put the system into hypo salinity and drop the salt level right down. So I immediately started getting all my gear ready to go, big water butts, and start transferring the water out and replacing with RO. We've dropped the salt level down to 12 parts per thousand over the course of, it took nearly enough, 5 days or so, 5-6 days to get it down. And within a day or two, the white spot disappeared. I didn't lose any fish, which was fantastic. And yeah, we were sort of, all recovering well. With hypo, you have to stay in for at least 4 weeks after you see the last white spot disappear. It's been in hypo now for probably 5 to 6 weeks. I'm going to give it another week or two just to make sure we've stopped the life cycle of it, but I think we're on the right road. All the fish are looking really healthy, really happy, all grown. You probably see the growth in a couple of months. Jaws is getting monstrously big. His appetite is ferocious. I haven't fed yet today, so he's going to be quite hungry. Yeah, I've got a little bit of a surprise in for you. We have another tank in the house. Yeah, another tank we have in the house. It's been set up. I'll show you that at the end of the video, so stay tuned. So anyway, back to the 750. Yeah, what we plan to do now is just get it back out of hypo over the next couple of weeks, which we slowly adjust the salt level and add salt back to the system. You have to do that very slowly over a minimum of a week. I'm going to probably do it over the course of a couple of weeks just to bring it up, because the fish don't fare well going up in salt level. You have to do it very slowly because it stresses them right out and they can't cope with it very well. So after we've done that, what I mentioned earlier about it's not a coral system yet. I was looking after some tanks in a friend of mine's house whilst he was away on holiday, and he kindly said take some GSP to just try in the system, see how well it fares, see whether the main thing with this tank, whether the coral get eaten. So we had a small rock of GSP, put it in the system, and the fish didn't eat it. It came out and it looked like it was going to be doing fine. Yeah, so that was a good experiment for us. It's not in here now solely because we've gone into hypo. The corals don't do well in hypo, so it died off. But at least I know that the fish are going to be okay with softies. So we're going to go GSP, pulse coral. We'll just see. We'll experiment. So that's going to be exciting when we get out of hypo to do that. The only annoying thing is with that, if we do have another eruption of crypto, which I'm sure we won't, is that I won't be able to put the system back into hypo again unless I want to lose all the coral. So we'll see. We've got to try something with this tank because as nice as the fish are, and they are the focus in this tank, especially when they get bigger, we do need some more going on, and that's a lot of people's negative comments on it looks boring, there's not much in there, and whatnot. We are going to jazz it up with soft corals, so that should add a new dimension to the tank. I'll keep an eye on the time. So what I'm going to do, as I always do, take the camera off the tripod to show you the fish a little bit closer up, and so you can check out their growth, and show you the sump, and then I'll show you our second tank. Okay, behave yourself, Jules. I know you're hungry. He's guaranteed to splash water out because he's getting annoyed. He wants me to feed him, so okay. So Jaws is rapidly growing, typical puffer. My other little puffer, my dog-faced puffer, is doing really well. He's such a gentle little puffer, this. He had white spot really bad, to the point where one of his gills was completely closed. And I thought if we're going to lose any, he'd be first because he won't be able to breathe properly. But now he's recovered beautifully. The tangs are fine. On some of the fins on the tangs, you can see that this little fluffy white, you could mistake it for white spot, but I think it's just old scars from the white spot, and they should clear themselves out. Emperor, the head and lateral line disease that I diagnosed is improving loads. He's on New Life Spectrum pellets. Well, he eats anything, but predominantly his first feed of the day is New Life Spectrum pellets and lots of algae as well. We put Julian Sprung's algae in a sheet every day. Yeah, it's clearing. I'm sure we can get this fish up into adulthood and completely morphed into its adult colours. That'll be great. Now Pennywise, the clown trigger, if you come out, he's getting really beefy now. And he's behaving himself, he's got a bit of an attitude on him, but you expect that. His appetite is massive. He eats everything but Spectrum pellets, which is highly annoying. So all the fish, bar him and the little dog face jeepers, they're both them fish won't eat New Life Spectrum pellets, which is annoying. I do feed every day. Hopefully I might go on to them one day. We'll see. His teeth are erupting as well on Pennywise. He's hiding away. Such a smart fish. His teeth are erupting up through now. And the colours on the Emperor were just on the verge of the change. It's going very yellowy up the top, and the bars are starting to interjoin horizontally on the body, as you can see. So we're just starting to change, and his mouth's going a little bit whiter, sort of paler. So I reckon within a year there's just some substantial difference and change to that fish. Apologies for the reflection. The sun's just come out outside. I've got the curtains shut, but it seems to shine through and reflect off the glass. I did promise to do a video every week. Obviously this problem that we've had has got in the way, and I'm going to do a specific video on a specific subject every week, promise. Different things that we've changed and how we're running this system. I'll just show you down in the sump quickly. I've stopped no-pox completely as we're in hypo. Just didn't want any adverse effects. So our nitrates have gone through the roof. It's to the point where, well, I think the last time I checked last week, they're at 85, 90 parts per million. Hence the green rocks. No hair algae, but the back wall, the blue back wall, and the glass needs to be cleaned quite often, and the sand needs to be going through every 3 or 4 days. Otherwise it looks a state. But we should get on top of that once we get out of hypo. Down in the sump, our filter floss pad is doing great. This is what I use. Still got filter socks just to catch anything that bypasses that pad, but to be honest, not much can get through. As you can see, it collects all of the crap on top of the pad, and I just changed the pad out every 5 or 6 days. It's a brilliant method. I should do a specific subject on that in another video. Electrics covered and bits and bobs. Apologies for the mess. Basically keep all my foods and test kits and dosing equipment, bits and bobs everywhere here. That's the pads I'm using. This thick floss. Controllers. Controller there. That's the skimmer controller. I've added 2 wave machines to the system just to get some, just to kick some detritus up. One in each corner. I've had to cover the cables with plastic hosing, because otherwise jaws will just bite through the cables, which I've had years ago. A big Stars and Stripes chomped through the power head cable and electrocuted himself. He lived, by the way. But he was quite deformed. His mouth was all sort of burnt and singed. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is show you the other tank. I'm just going to hit pause on the video quickly. I shall be back in a sec. Okay, so this is the second tank, and it's actually my son's tank. He's been wanting to do his own aquarium in his own room for a while, and thought, oh god, here we go. Because once you get the bug, you know what it's like. It's a long journey. I mean, I've been into keeping fish since I was 17 years old. It's a long time. It's something that just doesn't leave you, whether you're into cars, bikes, fish tanks, whatever. It's a bug you get, and you tend to sort of have a passion for it for your whole life. So anyway, he wanted a tank in his own room. So okay, we'll sort you out a tank, just tropical, just to start with. You know, I told him he's got to do his homework and learn, you know, all the basics, the nitrogen cycle, whatnot, and he's been so good. He's done so much homework and got really into it even before he even had the tank. And I actually had this tank already in my shed from years ago. I used to breed marine fish. I thought, okay, that's ideal, that little tank for him to start up. So we dug it out, stripped the filter out of it, and thought, okay, let's do some modifications and get it up and running as a really nice tropical tank. So that's what we did. I left all the decision making to him, and I just assisted obviously where it needed be, for knowledge really. He wanted, I said, you've got to choose what livestock you want and what sort of tank you want to do, whether it's planted, you know, whatever. Yes, he planned it all out. He knew, he had a vision in his head exactly what he wanted to do and what he wanted, and this is the result. It's very early, very young tank. It's what, 3 months, just over 3 months old from the start, and he's done it all himself. Chose the rock, chose the plants, chose the fish. He does all the maintenance himself as well. Really impressed with his knowledge that he's built up in such a short space of time. I can't foresee this being a 5-minute wonder. No way, because he's really into it. Whether he'll move to marine, we don't know. Again, I'll leave it to him what he wants to do. If he wants to carry on going down this freshwater route, which is quite alien to me because I've always been marine. But yeah, so I'll show you a little bit closer. This is the Siamese fighting fish, or beta fish. It's in here. I think it's like the feature fish of the tank. Try and get a good shot of it. There we go. And he's got a big shoal. I say big, well, it's 15 odd cardinal tetras in here. A few species of plants which are all thriving. I think he doses CO2, and he does a water change every single week, religious. I think he does sort of 20-30 litres a week. I think it's a 60-70 litre system, this. The filtration, we stripped out it's a dual tank. We stripped out the box that comes with the tank, and we put a Eheim external filter in the cupboard, with Biohome Ultra in it, filter floss, which we strip out every month or so. We've done it a couple of times now since the tank's been running. The nutrients on this tank's so low. He's really conscientious and careful with feeding, and his maintenance routine is so good that his nitrates and phosphates are nearly zero. I think his nitrates are at 5-10 ppm. This tank is the water is such good quality that he does not have to clean the glass. He never cleans the glass at all. Just algae just doesn't really grow. You might get a couple of spots here there on the rock, but they soon disappear because there's a bristle nose pleco in here. A couple of snails. There's a couple of cories in here as well. Cory catfish somewhere. He's got, believe it or not, he's got his own YouTube channel that he's started, and it's documented this tank from the very start. If you look him up, by all means, might be of some interest to you if you're into the tropical side of stuff. Please excuse my dog. Yeah, look him up. It's Corey Willard. So if you just tap in on YouTube, Corey Willard, and you can see the progress of this tank from the very start. He's really conscientious with updates. He does updates, not like me, he does them every week. Yeah, I can foresee him really taking this further, this interest in fish and fish tanks, which is great for me. I've been bombarded with hundreds of questions, literally hundreds and hundreds of questions over this past few months, which has been great. To have sort of like a mate that's into the same thing, and it's great that he's obviously happens to be my son. Yeah. Yeah, because there's not many people into this fish keeping. Like, you might have a goldfish bowl or a little tropical tank or whatever, but especially the marine side of it, because it does take some knowledge, and it does take some money as well. And a lot of people are put off by it because they just think, oh, I don't understand that. You have to be really, your heart has to be in it. You're still, got to love anything to do with marine or fish keeping and stuff to sort of delve into this hobby, because it is expensive and it's not easy. But yeah, so that's the second tank in the house. I'm just going to pause the video again and go back downstairs. Okay, yeah, so check my son's channel out. It's Corey Willard on YouTube. Hit subscribe and a likes on his videos, as with mine, because it all helps out. I appreciate all my subscribers and people that watch my channel. Apologies I haven't done a video for so long, but we are going to get on weekly videos on certain subjects and carry on with it. I must feed these fish because they are hanging for food. I probably overfeed this system, probably the worst thing you can ever do with any big no-no with any tank, but they're so demanding, these fish, and I've got the filtration to cope with it. So yeah, especially as they've had to battle through this white spot disease parasite, we've had to keep them well fed to get them through it. So until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.